Welcome to Two Queens and Crystal Things, the podcast where we are on some manifest your life, shift your mind,
Come on now.
and we are looking to raise the consciousness type of shit.
Please,
y'all. But yeah, let's rise together. I am Christie.
And I am Mia, and you can consider us your spiritual girlfriends for the next hour. So, I gotta do a little pop. Last week we talked about what it's like on the other side of a spiritual awakening. Because we talk about a lot of things that happen during, but now that you're in this new space, so we talked about, how it affects your emotions, how your mind and your relationships. Like I said, you have this awakening, your perspective has changed, and so the way that you experience the world changes as well. Yep. So, and sometimes it's awesome, and sometimes it's that full BS. It's scary and messed up and painful, but it's all meant to transform you.
Absolutely.
So, if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and do. So, what we're talking about today, boo?
Okay, so today we are talking about spiritual sovereignty, and this is a topic that we both me and I share with our clients.
Oh, yeah.
But basically, spiritual sovereignty means, or it speaks to a person who decides for themselves what is right and true in all matters. And so this is what we can call spiritual free will. And honestly, I love this because it reminds me that I am in charge. We are in charge and responsible for our own soul. And for me, I feel like that gives us our power back. So this is a good topic.
Love that. And I think another thing why this is so important, one of my favorite topic is self-mastery. Yeah. And at some point, I think we get that calling to start trying to master yourself. And we get to this point where we want to experience ourselves fully. So when we tap more into that higher energy, claiming your spiritual sovereignty is natural because, I need to know who I am.
Exactly.
And at some point, that means I need to break away from this to know who I am. So to me, this is all about self-mastery and getting another piece of the puzzle. But I think one of the it's almost like when you get to this point, you're like, okay, my path changes a little bit. So, well, you know what? Let's start off with, what does a person who's not spiritually sovereign look like? Now, hear me out. I'm going to put a little caveat on this, too. But claims to be a spirit. Because I think there are... Yeah. And the thing is... So I want to talk about how do you know when you're not being spiritually sovereign? And then you will also be able to tell in other people, especially when they're claiming it, but if you're spiritual sovereign, that ain't none of your business. Anyway, so.
I know exactly when I wasn't being spiritually sovereign. And that's related to the V.
The movie?
No, the V. The
virginity? Oh. Oh, God.
We can't be Pictionary partners.
Oh, my God.
We can't be partners. So, you guys.
The Maxine.
Yeah, the Maxine.
But with girl, I wish y'all could have seen
virginity? Virgo.
V for Vendetta.
Vulnerable. Verde.
Oh, my God. Vina? What are we talking about here?
Right. Yeah, but no, because I actually, with that, I had to get to a place where I was no longer allowing my decisions to be based on what I was hearing and feeling, which was all based in fear. I mean, ultimately, that's what I believe, all this was about is controlling people with fear. And so when I got to a place where I became neutral and I started to really think about it, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not living in fear. Like, that is something that I can't do. And I became neutral, but I feel like that's an example.
I would say one of the things that I work on, that I worked a lot on, was not being judgmental, spiritually, and not like, this is better than that. It was more allowing even if I didn't understand, just allowing it to be. It's okay if I didn't understand all. Just allowing what it is to be and not feel like I have to name it or you know what I mean. So it's less of a judgment. It's more like it's almost like if I wasn't able to name it or label it or something, then I kind of dismissed it. And so I've had to let that go. Like if I can't put it in one of my boxes to check a box, like this is what this is, that just means I need to expand my box. Not necessarily. That doesn't mean it's like, okay, that's weird because I'm not, and when you're in this life, we meet people with like all types of different practices, spiritual cultures. I mean, which I think is a beautiful thing. So that was one thing. So spiritual sovereignty, what does that look like without having, So I would say this is one of Christie's favorite words, y'all. Sheeple.
Yeah, sheeple.
Can you please tell the people what a sheeple is?
So you all should understand the whole idea about the sheep. A lot of times sheep, they just follow the other sheep. You see someone else moving, so you start moving. But so that's kind of the term that's used now with people. People they're like sheeple. They're sheep just kind of following with the herd and not really stopping and questioning and inquiring, but they're just going with the flow of everyone else. Those are sheeple. So, and we talked about this before. There's a lot of programming, right? Oh my gosh,
and it's just, and I think, oh boy, look, I'm like,
I know, we
I'm
talked
over
about
here.
this earlier.
I'm trying to tread. I'm like, okay, let's
know.
see. There's a lot of programming, right? So, the less we are in control of what we think, of what we do, of our desires, even our own desires, the easier it is for anything to come in and manipulate us.
Yes.
So let's just, and I'm going to keep it high level. I'm not even about to get real ugly up in here. Let's just talk about consumerism. We are programmed with everything to tell us what type of car we like, what we are wearing. Am I considered beautiful based on what somebody else is telling us? And so now not only can I manipulate your mind, I can manipulate you to act in a different way. So now I got you going out buying stuff that's not for you.
Yeah.
That's not good for you, or that doesn't necessarily work for you, but I have programmed that. And so just my sense, so now I have you spending money on stuff that you probably, if you thought about, you'd be like,
so many people.
Yeah. Should I do? Look,
like think about Starbucks. I mean, Starbucks is not their popcorn. Their coffee is not that quality. It's basically they just get all kinds of different coffee beans and then they burn them all.
They burn the hell out of those damn beans. Why?
But think about the marketing. Some people
the marketing
like
is. Let me tell you
Starbucks
something.
or nothing.
There's a few products that when I look at the marketing and what they've done, it is absolutely amazing to me. Starbucks and
Nike. Nike's one too.
Oh, Nike's definitely one. Oh, no, the one Apple products.
Apple, yeah.
The way what they've done is it's not just a product. You're not just spending money. It's they have made it so that if you are not engaging in this, you're not a part of the culture. You're not a part of society.
You're whack.
You're whack. Everybody's doing this. How do you not? You've never been a Starbucks.
Right.
Like, who are you? What podunk place are you from?
You gotta fit in.
If you don't have an iPhone or and it makes me laugh so hard because this is not a phone company. They were not. So, but they created a way to become a part. It's bigger than a product. They are a part of our identity. That is some cold
and they knew
ass
that.
Mark. I'm like, no,
But
they did this shit.
They knew that because they know that
did.
human nature, we all want to be a part of something.
Yes.
We all want to feel important. We all want to feel a part
And
of the tribe.
they made it a part of, like, oh, I mean, and like, I swear, when I think back about how Starbucks became a thing, I just remember in all the magazines, it was always the celebrities walking in the streets of LA with those
Starbucks and a phone.
Fucking Ugg boots. Sorry, y'all. I can't stand them. Didn't like them shits then, but it would be a Starbucks in their hand with the Ugg boots on, like,
and their little what phone was that they had back then? The flip phone, Burberry, Blueberry.
Burberry.
Burberry.
Blackberry.
Blackberry.
Damn it. The black. Yes.
It's this Chianti we're drinking.
Yeah. That's what it is. But yeah, so that. So, then you start, and then we look after these people. It's a whole mind game. So that's why I said I'm going to keep it high level. That's just, but if we even start to think about how that plays out spiritually.
Oh my gosh.
Woo! And how that is so able to control. To me, this is the worst, because it's a way to control who you believe you are.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want you to know who you are.
Right.
That's some deep shit to me.
Because I have seen some spiritual people out there, abusing it, and I think that's one of the reasons why I tell my clients, it's like, no, whatever I tell you, if it does not feel right, if it does not resonate with you, you don't have to accept it as truth. Like, and I tell them, you are a sovereign being. So, and I think that's another thing that people need to understand. And because I find myself saying, oh, well, and I've said this before, well, Mia said, or Mia told me, okay, well, what does your spirit tell you?
What's right? What did you hear?
And so, I mean, even though people will tell you something, you go back and you confirm for yourself.
Yes.
Confirm so that you know that is to be true for yourself.
So another way that to know when you are not being spiritually sovereign is complaining a lot, not taking any responsibility for your life. Like, it's always your husband's fault, your friend's fault,
Everyone
the teacher's fault, the society's fault, the preacher's fault. It's, so I mean, you don't take responsibility for your life. And when you ever been around somebody, okay, you know how we all have that one friend who is always changing jobs, and it's always like,
how about ex-husband?
Right? They're discriminating against me. It's always something. By the third time, you're like, no, man, this is you. So when you are in your life and you're being that person, and it's always something else, that is a sign that you are not spiritually sovereign. Because I'm gonna tell you something, the common denominator, and this is so hard, is you, boo. You're the common denominator. You over here, like, and it's, when you're always pointing outside of you. Because I'm gonna tell you something. We can come.
I'm thinking about my stuff. Like, I was talking to, I'll say Elle. I was talking to Elle about it on the way here, because she was saying, oh, you're boo. And I had to tell her about the moment that I had when I was in meditation, and how initially I would always blame him. Well, we could have been together, but you didn't. And then during my meditation, they showed me, they're like, no, Christy, you are the problem. Like, you are expecting someone to make a decision that they're not ready to make.
Ooh.
That's not fair.
See, but do you understand how far you go in your journey before you're able to hold yourself accountable? Because it's so easy. It's so easy to blame it on. And this is the thing. That does not mean that they did not do anything to wrong you. Yeah. That does not mean that the way that you feel about what happened to you is not validated. Right. That is not what that means. That just means, yes, that happened, but let's look at what I did in it. Let's look at yourself.
So, Mia, you made a good point, because you said, like, the more that you start mastering self, the more that you're able to have a stronger, like, you can claim more of your spiritual sovereignty. Yeah. That's trickled down to my work. Because there are times that things that have happened, I'll be like, oh, well, the reason why I couldn't or it didn't was because X, Y, and Z. And now I'm just like, you know what?
I ain't got it, yo.
Slipped through my fingers, I'm sorry, or I lost track, whatever. I'll make sure it's done. Instead of, like, finding outside of me. Well, no, Christy, you take onus for your own shit. Good stuff, but it's not easy.
Another way that you can tell if you're not being spiritually sovereign is I don't even want to use this. People who, you ask somebody a hard question, they stay on message. So let's just say you're having a discussion with someone about, some of the stuff that's in the news today. And they say, hey, I heard on so-and-so that this happened. You're like, what? Oh, I didn't, know that. You start having a discussion about it. It's like, oh, no, here it is. This is what actually happened. You're like, no, I that's what happened. You're like, no, for real. You can give them evidence, and they are not able to see outside of what they've been indoctrinated to say.
Oh, absolutely.
They have to stay on message.
Yes.
They can only repeat what they've been told. They literally cannot veer because, and it's talking about this controller thing again, because they aren't exercising their own critical thinking. Because we give that away. Well, you make all the decisions for me. It's no problem. I don't have to figure out how to get my car fixed. I don't have to figure out anything because so it's like I don't have to figure out anything because everything's set up for me. Mm-hmm. This is wonderful and lovely. And at the time, it seems like a convenience. But what happens over time, as a people, as a society, we lose our ability to critically analyze the situations that we are and make best decisions for ourselves. So that's indoctrinated just the whole world.
From a child. Like I feel like this is a discussion that can go deep. But if you think about the educational system, it's designed for that purpose.
Facts.
It is designed to basically mold you into an obedient little soldier or slave, so that you can go out and help other people make money, instead of you having free thinking and free will and using all of your senses, not just the senses that we're told about in science class, because there's so much more to us that we're not told about. But think about it: if everyone knew who we truly were,
thank you. It's too difficult to indoctrinate you. So we gave away. We can't. Our critical thinking skills. This is a real thing.
A real thing.
I'm telling you. I remember, being in elementary school, 2nd, 3rd grade, and we would have these critical thinking assignments. This is in Chicago public schools. So I am not, but they were still teaching us what can you infer from this beyond what's in front of you. So, and what I'm recognizing when I tell you, even sometimes, I'll do this to my daughter sometimes, because I'll ask her a question and she answers, and I'm like, okay, why do you say that? And because I'm trying to figure out that can she go a little, past the layer. Right. And then so she'll be like, well, Mommy, why do you say it's like that? And so then I'm showing her, breaking it down. I say, well, because if we know that the lake is right here and it's always to the east, I know that if I stand that way, that's east. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of showing her, do you know where the lake is? Yeah, it's right there. Okay, cool. So if that's east, then show me west. Right. Instead of saying, if I say, Jay, do you know which way west is? No. Because she doesn't have to know no shit like that.
Because it's on her phone.
And that's what I'm talking about. That shit freaks me out,
man. So there was a meme that was posted, I think it was either today or yesterday, and it wasn't a meme, it was a reel. And the woman gave her 13-year-old the phone to order pizza. You're on to order pizza for the family. And it was a child's first time ordering. And the child was like, I don't know what to say. What do I ask for? How do I do it? And the thing is, I can relate because, when I was young, when I was a teenager, I used to order pizza for our family. That's when I learned how to speak to people on the phone.
Yes.
Hello. Good evening.
Come on.
My name is Christy.
Oh, come on.
I'm calling to order this pizza for this. This is the address, my phone number. Being very polite. Thank you very much. Can you please repeat my order? But then when I did it with my kids, they were like, I don't know what to do. What am I going to ask? What do I need to say? How do I know it? They were nervous about it.
There's no button to touch.
They were nervous about it.
Seriously.
And this is what that reel showed. I was like, this is the truth.
That's true.
And so I wonder if it is if our education down the line did change, because there's me. My family was just like, order pizza. I'm like, okay. I still know the number.
Things have adjusted and changed. And again, I'm not saying that it's necessarily a bad thing, but we have to find a way to be in this world, advanced technologically, but advanced spiritually.
Yes.
Like,
that.
that does not mean, if we advance
Say
technologically and the world changes, that does not mean we stand still here. You are, just like the universe expands and grows and moves and mutates.
We need to do the same.
We have to do the same for ourselves. So that doesn't mean cut back what we're able to do. We should be expanding. At this point, we all be flying around this motherfucker. We just out here chilling, like, well, what do I do next?
Right.
And we wait for them to tell us.
Think about with the cell phone. Like, growing up, you knew all of your friends' phone numbers.
By heart.
By heart.
Yes.
Or the new people that you would meet, they give it on the piece of paper.
And then you math problems and all type of shit.
But now it's like, you can't remember people's numbers because you rely on the phone. And so with, spiritually, we're asking you all, or challenging you all, to not rely on the phone. Rely on yourself. I mean, that's what all of this is about. I mean, honestly, that's what I believe a spiritual awakening is. It is coming into yourself, coming to understand yourself, and self-mastery.
And it's just, I actually said this today in a reading. It's like, we're not, as people are going through a spiritual awakening, we're talking about Jesus, and it's like, she's having this kind of like sort of crisis, and I'm like, no, what you're starting to understand, because she's like, I feel like nothing's real and blah blah blah, and I'm like, I know you, okay, I get it. It's not that you're being asked to say that the story of Jesus is a lie. Jesus is very much so real. You're doing, what you're awakening to, is who he really is. That's all. No one's saying that everything you learned before is nothing. No, it's so funny. It's like the game Two Truths and a Lie. So sometimes we can't decipher where the lie is, but there are some common threads. I don't care what culture, where you are in the world, there are some common threads about how we are introduced to spirituality. That is a very, very, very real thing. Those are oral traditions that are passed from generation to generation, and they change a little bit depending on which culture they go to, because
but the stories are all pretty much the same.
Exactly. So if you're a Native American, you're telling the story, it's going to be an eagle because of where you were. And you go to someplace else, it's going to be a different type of bird. It's going to be a crane because I was in A. Do you know what I mean? Like, these things, but it's the same thread of a story. Right. And all you're doing is just learning how we really are one person, how we really are from one being, and so it's just expansion.
Okay, but here comes that critical thinking.
Yes,
because in spirituality, this is where this is important, because in spirituality, I'm trying to hurry up before this thought falls out of my head because my gummy's hidden. So in spirituality, a lot of times it's not crystal clear.
Yes.
We have to be able to pull pieces together, take little bits and pieces of the puzzle to create a picture to then understand what is being shared or told to us. And that is critical thinking.
Absolutely. And what happens is, as you exercise that critical thinking muscle more and more, honestly, the message becomes much more clear, because you're relearning a language that's part of your DNA.
And that is so cool, because, so cool that, like, it's now like, I had a ha moment. So a person who doesn't have those skills, a person who doesn't have critical thinking skills, those people who are distracted by the gossip or by the TV or by what's happening with politics or whatever, those people may see their ancestors or their guides trying to communicate with them, but they're not going to see it. Why do I keep seeing this 444? I don't understand what it is. It's going to be numb. Like, it's just going to be like, okay, I'm going to keep going about my day.
You won't even see the synchronicities. You have to get to a certain point to even open your eyes to see it. You know what I mean? Or if you see it, you're not even at the point where you're able to say that that's something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, that's so weird. Every time I look at the phone, it's 11:11. Anyway, you're not going to go past, like, that's kind of interesting, huh? Let me just Google.
Let me investigate. Let me look further.
I'm curious. And what happens, you got to think about this. I'm like, okay, let me go move. A curious mind is a dangerous mind. Okay?
I'm curious.
Yes. A curious mind is a dangerous mind when you want everyone to be of the same thought, mind, behavior, and pattern. Because the curious mind is like, if you fly up above your city or wherever you live, you'll see the roads, right? They look like veins, right? Mm-hmm. So they built these roads, and everybody drives down them, like, with no question. But the curious mind is the one that goes, well, what's over there? Why can't we go that way? I think the car could go through that. And they go down and then somebody else goes, that's a good question. And then they're learning more and expanding themselves.
Which is why it's important.
There's like, we got to rein these people in. So they keep finding ways to keep us on the interstate. Because a curious mind is going to start exploring. A curious mind is going to ask questions. Like, okay, I'm not saying I'm agreeing with you, but wait, what does that mean? So why do we have to do that? No. So if you really pay attention, that's why I like these people who they would stay on message. You ask a question and say, hey, we're having dinner at 2 today. Okay, fine. Why are we having dinner at 2? Dinner is at 2. Okay. No, but why are we having dinner at 2? Because that's when the food would be on the table. You know what I mean? Like they're not even prepared for that level of curiosity. Mm. It's not even saying I'm bad. What you're saying is bad. It's just why. Yeah. It's like, we sometimes we have to reach back to that inner child for real. That we ask why about everything. Why?
I've been asking a lot of why.
Why?
Like, or where did that come from? Christy, why did you feel that way?
Yes.
I noticed that you said this trifling thing to this picture that you saw. Where did that come from? Like, why?
Wait, why today? Literally, I just did this today. I was picking up Jay from school, and I saw this woman. She was crossing the street as I was turning, and I thought to myself, y'all, don't judge me. I'm a work in progress.
We all are.
I said, in my head, not out loud, of course, even though I'm in the car, I was like, ugh.
I've done that too.
Wait. But this is what happens to me now. And I'm like, why you just do that? Like, that is some rude shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I would never say that. But the fact of the matter is that thought literally came to my mind. Right. I didn't, you know what I mean? But now I'm just like, but why? What was?
Where did that come from? And why do you feel the need to?
Ding dong.
Like, and who are you to make?
And who are you?
Like, and I thought that too. Like, I would see someone post. I'm like, who does she think she is? Who do you think you are?
Okay, well, let me stop. You know what? And it pulled me back.
It's
like,
very
girl.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you one of your petty buddies to take your butt on there.
You know, buddy.
Right. I mean, that was just okay. So when you start asking yourself, are you spiritually sovereign? How would they know, Christy?
Being responsible for your own decisions.
Hey.
So,
we talked about, hey.
Yeah. I mean, like the decisions that I made as far as my ex-husbands, I made those decisions. I do see why I made the decisions, and I feel like I was able to get something positive out of both. But yeah, you start being responsible. It's like there's no one else to blame but me. Mm-hmm. So and that's been hard because no one wants to blame themselves for anything.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Why would I want to do that? Rude.
Yeah. But also believing in the rights of all people and respecting others' opinions and choices. And, like, respecting is not the same as agreeing. So,
yeah,
I think that's something that's important because there are some things that I may not agree with, and it's okay. Like, look, if this was what makes you happy or if this is what makes you feel centered, then
okay.
Who am I to say it? Who am I to say anything?
So,
or to feel anyway?
And I feel like so much of this is being exposed in our country right now, the United States of America. Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
This Chianti is good. It's strong though, but it's shit. Excuse me.
So we say we believe in equal rights. The thing is, what we're seeing play out in society. I mean, I'm talking about person to person, peer to peer, neighbor to neighbor. Is I believe in the rights of all people until it disagrees with me.
Right.
So we're all good because, we all live on a block. Right. We all agree that the grass should be
the moment you don't agree
no
with me,
longer than 1 inch, you know what I mean? All, whatever, 2.5 inches. But the moment that, when it comes time to vote everyone's putting up their sign and you just happen to have a different opinion or don't put up a sign, now, but wait, we always have conversations about justice and fairness and people being able to, how could you? I mean, the way that people are treating each other right now, I'm just like, man, the program is working hard. Because you have...
Super hard.
It's almost like they understand that we have to go through so much trauma to get broken down to the point where we're just waiting for somebody to tell us what to do.
Which is why this
exactly
book that we've been talking about.
Yes, I'm like, now I gotta read this. I'm like, oh, I definitely. So
MK
there's always going to be something, you know. It's like we're set up to be upset with each other. We're upset to judge each other. We're upset to do what I did. Like we're, you know what I mean? We're programmed to be like this, so we can fight and be divisive, because
and
the
divided.
minute, I mean, I feel so strongly the fact about it. Like if everyone for 1 second, like 1 minute, energetically stopped and said, wait a minute, hold on, we all are one people. I honestly think the energy of this entire world could change. If we got 60 seconds from everybody in the world, just be like, y'all, we all come from the same place. It's almost like a little secret room we can go to. Be like, okay, y'all, are they out there? Shh, yo, we all came from the same place. And they just kind of wait for a second, like, and everybody just kind of sit up there quietly, like, yeah, I know. And you got every color, every religion, every age, every animal, every tree.
But I feel like our awakening is important and to share with other people, because as we've awakened and we share, then it helps to awaken other people, and then they share.
And that is why I think it is important for us to have these conversations. Yeah. If we all, think about it. If you know 3 people, I remember back in the day when they would try to get people to take these jobs and sell. If you sell it to 3 people, like, because that is a concept that works. But if you are if you awaken 3 people, and they awaken 3 people, and they awaken 3 people, and they awaken 3 people, and I feel like that's what's happening.
Imagine, yeah.
And it's happening. There are so many moments that are, and because of social media, we're able to see and share and see people's growth. And if you've been following somebody for a few years, say you don't know them, but you start noticing how their posts are shifting. You're like, oh, and then you're like, dang, I remember when all her posts were her, in the club, bent over.
Yep.
Now all her, you know what I mean? So you get to see somebody's growth. I mean, now she's bent over in meditation. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm being silly. Hey, I'm a spiritual thug, y'all. But so then that you don't know what that does for somebody else. They're like, dang, and then that makes them start thinking about their own growth. And like, let me take some time and see. You don't know, just being who you are and being on your journey, how that heals other people.
Yeah, and that's where I'm realizing, or have realized, that being myself is enough.
Yeah.
Because before I didn't think, I just, Be you. Be you, boo.
What's another way to see if you are spiritually sovereign?
So you know and begin to understand that there is divine in everyone.
Yes.
And everyone. And everybody around you, and even the people who are nasty. It's like, you know what? You still are a part of spirit.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You just don't understand who you are. You just don't.
Oh my God, that part.
And it's hard. Like, it's hard to see a person in that way when they are lashing out at you.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I feel like I'm starting. Like, I've been really working on that, making sure that I'm in that present moment and fully understanding. And being in this space of looking at people not from a judgmental place. And by no means am I saying I'm perfect, because there are times where I see somebody and I'm kikiing and talking about them. Oh, look at those. I do clown people. I clowns, okay?
I
do. I'm not perfect, but I will say that I have a better understanding of why I do the stuff that I do. And I mean, I am quick to get a talking to.
I think I would say this. This is true for me. And this is why I say this, honestly. It was very difficult initially for me to see that all people had divinity in them.
Oh, it's still hard.
Until I really, truly understood what the divinity in me, when I truly, really understood how I was a part of the divine. I can't not see how everybody's not part of it.
Right.
Because it's not this like, oh, I'm special. Only I'm connected.
And you know what?
To
That's another thing too.
Girl.
I see people on
You know what I mean?
online,
It's
on
never-
social media like that. Like, oh well, you don't have my gifts, or you don't.
Okay,
have...
I mean, but we all have something.
Right.
And regardless of what
all
it is,
do.
we are all a part of the divine. We all come from one source. I don't care what you call it, them, they, she, it, whatever. We are all a part of that energy, that one consciousness. We are all a part of that. And when you really know, like when you really feel like, oh my goodness, when you start, I mean, I'm telling you, real talk. My whole conversation when I'm out in nature would start to change, and I'm just like, damn, look what I did. Those flowers beautiful. I mean, and I genuinely felt like that was like the way that I experienced nature changed. It's just like that's me.
Right.
Like, hey, and I mean, it was just, and so that's something. And then when I started seeing that it's so easy for me to see the divinity in animals and flowers, and you know, I love me some trees. I'm like, how can I not know for a fact that it's in all of us? It's just that we're all in different parts of our journey, and we don't know who we are.
Or we're all
but there is a mass
expressions.
awakening.
Yeah. There is a mass awakening. Because so one of my line sisters, and this is a woman that I thought didn't like me, and I actually told her, I was like, I really thought you didn't like me.
She probably did. And then she realized the error of her ways because she saw your angel wing pop out there.
But no, and so it's just, you know, and I guess I'm at a point now where I don't like being around the bush about stuff, so I like to just get it out, because I just feel like holding on to it is silly. But I told her, I was like, so she reached out to me, and we just started having this conversation, and I was actually telling my boyfriend, I was like, she never reaches out to me, and I don't understand, like, what's going on. So I'm chatting, I'm happy that she reached out to me, and then the conversation starts to shift, and it starts to move in, like, the whole spiritual side of things. And then we start talking, people. And she's like, oh yeah, there's a shaman that I work with. I was like, a shaman? And she was like, oh yeah, and I did this spiritual clearing. I was like, clearing? And then we just started talking. She booked a session with me. I'm going to see her this week. But it's just crazy how things, and I told her, I was like, I'm really happy. And I meant it from the bottom of my heart. I said, I'm really, really happy that you reached out to me, because I said, to be honest, I really thought that you didn't like me. And here I am, like here we are having this conversation about things that most people wouldn't feel comfortable talking about.
Yeah.
But here we are having this conversation, and she's like sharing things with me. I'm sharing things with her. I'm telling her to read this book, and then we're talking about just different situations in life and spiritual awakening, and it just felt really good. But yeah, I think it's important to be able to see that connection in people.
And so just think about it. So that's two. Now you have two queens, literally, who are going through a spiritual. So imagine who she's speaking to, and then who you're speaking to, and then it just continues to grow. And that's why I said I remember the first time it hit me how important it was for us to be having these type of conversations, and for not us, like all of us, collectively, to be having these conversations, because I always think about the Christmas service at the church that I grew up at, where they would turn off all the lights, and they would take the one candle from the altar, and it would go all the way around the church and while we were singing "Joy to the World" or something. And I just love this moment, because, and that's how even I hated being at church on Christmas Eve. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm gonna go home. I want, I want some cookies. I need to be Santa. I got stuff to do. But that moment was always just so special to me, to see us literally go from dark to light with that sound. And I feel like that's what happens when we share, when we talk, when we reach for people, when we create a sacred space for people to get to know themselves, not necessarily to get to know us better, but my goal is when I'm with people, I want you to have a good time, but what I'm really creating is a space for you to get to know yourself better.
Right, and that's the one thing that I can say, like when people reach out to Two Queens. People are like, oh, I didn't think that you were going to reach out to me, or, maybe just being nervous. And it's just like, no, like we are one. We are all a part of the collective. I am no higher, no lower. We are sisters.
sister.
And we're here to help. So like, and there are some spiritual teachers that are just like, oh no, you're beneath me. I don't have time for you.
And look at me say, what is that IG video? I don't know about y'all like that, but that's I ain't about that.
I'm not
that's
about that
not
life.
for me.
That's not for me.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
So another way to kind of check, I shouldn't say check yourself, but to see like am I acting in my full spiritual sovereignty? Sovereignty is I love this. Because people who are spiritually sovereign, they harmonize energy, right? So that means you connect, because you're so connected with the energy in you, you can immediately feel and tell when something is right or wrong for you. Yeah. Because you're so connected with who, and that is when I tell you one of the most, it's so easy for me to, if it's something that doesn't, like, I mean, immediately, like, it doesn't
I feel it. I can feel it.
I feel it immediately.
Yeah, I can feel it.
And because I'm connected to my energy. And now I'm just at a point where it's just like, I can't, if it, like, it's almost like my chakras would jump out my body. And bye. Like, I can't. I honestly, I'm at the point where if I act against what I know is not good for me, and I feel it in my body the way that I do, that I'm betraying myself, and I've done that in my life, not knowing that's what I'm doing,
right.
But I don't want to go back to that. So when you are, and even if everybody's going right, and you're like, something on my body say I gotta go left, I don't know what's over there, and even if it's when you are strong enough in your convictions of who you are and what your energy is telling you.
You can't always do what
everybody will be going one way, and you're going to go the way you have to go, and be okay with it, and not feel like, dang, to be like, okay, guys, well, I got to go this way, so I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
And be okay with that. That's how you know you are walking into, like, you're like, okay, this is a different space, and all these different markers, I'll say, we talked about. I can say I have been through each of these. It's like, and that's why I said the journey is ongoing. It's like, when you start being responsible for your own shit, and then really be like, damn, I'm for real, like for real holding yourself accountable. You like, dang,
and then facing it, and like
I'm really doing this. That then when you get there and you're and it's good, and you're okay, and like you get past that and you're kind of working through it, you get like, dang. Okay, I'm on another space here.
Yeah.
It just keeps growing.
It does.
All right.
Next is claiming your spiritual sovereignty.
Yours. Yours. So, we always talk about this. Face your shadow, you guys.
Yes. That's the work.
Like, that's
like
the
when we say
work.
the work, like, that's the work.
So, every time we face our shadow, that's another way that we reclaim a bit of our spiritual sovereignty. And, like, so, okay, we talk about this. It's not all light and rainbows. I love rainbows, by the way.
I was just talking about you in the rainbow ride.
Oh.
Come on, everybody. It's free.
It's free. Seriously. Y'all need to get on this rainbow ride. Sorry. So when we talk about the journey, it's not always love and light, and spirituality isn't it? And frankly, like let's keep it 100. We're here when we talk about experiencing ourselves fully. That means your shadow too.
Yep.
Like real talk. So you have to, in order to fully kind of experience our world that we're living in, this world, you have to integrate all the light and the dark. So and by doing so, it actually helps you accept more of your light. So it's this beautiful, but you have to.
It really is.
And
then you manifest better.
Yes.
I'm telling you, just shit happens. Excuse my language. Stuff happens. Stuff happens.
So for instance, like, okay, when you start to claim your spiritual sovereignty, integrating your shadow, even so facing those pieces of you that you don't want to believe are a part of you, is like that you're not able to do that. So when to give you some hope, And just to say like, hey, am I doing this? When you are able and you're like, I'm in the middle of doing this right now, know that you're claiming some of your spiritual sovereignty. Like that is, it feels icky, but understand you are literally elevating your mind. You are getting back that critical thinking. You are able to feel like you're opening back up all the areas of you that need that, you know?
And reclaiming your power in the meantime.
Reclaiming your power. What's next? Step into your power.
So next is, like you were singing.
Yeah, Chrissy. So I just said, step into your power.
I was ordering food.
See, look at this one. Tap into your power, you guys. Yeah. Go ahead, Chrissy.
So step into your power. So basically tapping into your soul's power and learning how to handle learning how to handle your power is a key step to spiritual sovereignty. And again, that's all that falls under the umbrella of mastering yourself.
Yep.
We are all so powerful. Like there was a client that I had the other day, and I said, "You are so powerful, but your guys right now, they want to make sure that you understand how to use it." Were you?
Oh no, I was. Stop.
I was.
Stop it. Listen, Chrissy's on a gummy diet. She's not gonna be allowed to have gummies before. I'm laughing. You're making me laugh.
I didn't know you were laughing. You look like she was doing something with her lips. I'm like, what are you doing? Sorry, it's not the gummy, but no, and I think the more you get to understand yourself and your power, again, like she said, that is another step into claiming your spiritual sovereignty. And that falls under self-mastery. Like we are learning ourselves 360, like in every area, every cell, like that is what we do. We are dealing with all of the layers, unpeeling all the layers of the programming from over the years. And we are getting down to like our soul self. Like who is this soul? What is my soul's purpose?
So I mean, so when you're stepping into your power, you guys think about it. It's like, well, one, as you're going through life, there are so many lessons. You're being those are like initiations that span over this life, the life before that, and regarding your own power. So you have to learn how to handle all of that without it taking you out of your center. So that's why we talk about balance, So
I'm always looking
when
for
you
balance.
claim your spiritual sovereignty, we'll have, because you're, now it's like my light turned on. So now that means somebody else's light turns on. You know what I mean? So when you claim that, we have an effect on others. Yeah. So this just think about that for 1 second. Without you even knowing or doing anything, like nothing, no ritual, nothing, any type of rituals, no intentions, no affirmations, just being curious and starting the journey turns on your light.
Yep.
Like you're not, it's the journey is long and vast, and they'll have so many milestones along the way. But I'm telling you, as soon as you start asking the question, who am I? Wait, hold on. What am I here for? Yes. You just turned your light on.
Right.
And that's how powerful you are, because then when you do it, somebody else does, and you haven't even done anything, but that's how powerful your energy is.
Yeah. And when you start shining your light, you start attracting other people who are also shining their light.
Like a moth to a flame burnt by the fire. Oh, sorry. So you got to balance that energy. I can see that in working. Like, I can honestly see in working with some of the clients that one of the main things that people are working with on themselves is accepting and stepping into their power.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you why it's so important. This is like actually a really important thing, because you're out here. It's almost like you have you're wielding this sword. It's like this sword that can heal or kill. And if you don't know you're holding it, you're out here accidentally slicing people's necks off if that's not what you're trying to do. So you want to know what it is that you're doing and be intentional about it. So in order to be intentional about the way that you use your energy, whatever that works for you, you have to step into that. this is not one of those this is not one of those non-participation. This isn't watching a movie. You have to sit down and step into it, okay? And I will say this. Another way to claim your what do you call this stuff? Claim your sovereignty is get some healings, you guys.
Yes.
Like, DNA activations, energy clearings. These are another ways to activate what's inside of you to help you further step into your power. It's like, I mean, honestly, it's just because sometimes.
Can I speak to that?
Yeah.
So I will say that having energy work done, actually most of the people that have worked on me are intuitive, so then they'll start sharing messages or downloads that they receive. And then when they share that with me, then that's what makes me investigate.
Yeah.
And then I start learning more about myself.
Facts.
So I think that's why like having energy work is done, because it really and truly does. It sparks something in you, because like your soul knows when there's something that is right and is true, like you feel it.
Yeah.
When it's not, when it's off and it's a lie, it's like, yeah, no.
You know what I find interesting when I'm doing energy work on people and I get messages for them, it's always fascinating. I'm like, this is going back to people stepping into their power. When I tell them, I'm like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, do you understand who you are? Like, even sitting here right now, you did not need me. You didn't need me to tell you what you already know to be true.
Right.
But sometimes along our paths, we just need a little bit of validation. And that's what we're here for.
Yep.
Because we're not creating you. We are helping you see you.
Right.
And I feel like that's the real magic.
Preach,
you know what I mean? Like, that's the magic that the energy, that as healers, energy workers and readers, it's helping you open your eyes to see who you are so you can transform yourself. Yes. I'm not creating nothing.
Right.
This is you.
And in that transformation, you're helping to transform someone else.
Yes.
And it's like this domino effect.
So
it really is.
That's and honestly, working for us on our side, working with clients and working on clients, that helps me further step into my power, because every time I work with somebody and I can help for me, I'll tell you, as soon as I'm done, it reaffirms you doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
I'm like, this is okay.
I agree.
And so that's spiritual validation for me, and I'm always so humble when people. I'm like, I can't believe. They're like, oh my God, Mia, thank you so much. I'm like, no, thank you, because I honestly and truly feel so humble to be a part of the awakening. And I call myself the awakener because I truly feel. That's what I'm here for. I'm just turning on lights, y'all. I'm just saying, let me in. I just flick them for you. Might change your light bulb. You know what I mean? And sometimes we might need a little rewiring. Just turn your light on.
Yep. No, it's true.
Yep. Okay, sorry, I got off track.
No, you're fine. No, I mean, honestly, this is very important.
Yeah.
Very important. And just like we mentioned earlier, whether or not you're spiritually sovereign is being responsible for your own decision. It's the same thing. Like, ways to claim your spiritual sovereignty is by taking full responsibility.
Come on.
For who you are.
Yes.
The decisions you've made.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, you know what? I done had sex with this guy. I don't even remember his name.
You're like.
If my boo was listening, this was like a long time ago. But it's like. Okay, so this was in high school. I don't even know who he was. I just remember afterwards I said, take me home. And it's just like those type of decisions you have to be accountable to.
Yeah, you can like, damn, I did do that.
I did.
But the difference, this is what I love about, because then there's another piece. Once you get to a point where you stop judging yourself. Mm-hmm. You're just like, shit happens. YOLO. No, because you stop judging yourself, because you're at a different place and you're connected to your higher self. Yes. So you can go back to that place in your life and be like, I know exactly why I did that.
I was looking for attention.
Right. But at that time when you're literally in it, it's like you can't see the forest for the trees. And that's the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing about healing past trauma, you guys, because you can literally go back to that moment and see yourself. Yep. It's like, I see me.
Right.
And
feel yourself.
And you're just like, and it's almost like, instead of judging yourself for stupid shit that we've done, it's like, oh, baby, come here. Like, I get it. Like, hey, we got past that. Don't worry though, girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's such a beautiful feeling. Like you have the ability to heal yourself. And that is one of the things that I think is just so important. So, I mean, honestly, and you know, I say this all the time. That is one I don't want to be somebody's spiritual crutch. I'm showing you how to heal yourself. So I'm not Ayanla fix my life. Mia turn on my magic.
She helps you once and then that's it.
Like this, Mia turn on your magic. This, you know what I mean? Like, cause we all have it, you guys, and it's so beautiful. Like, every time, I swear, I know I sound.
I remember when you
cool,
told me, you're like, I think we're done.
I mean, no. I'm like, no, because you know, like, it's like, okay, you got it. Come check back with me in a few months. But you know, as people, when people first start, it's like, I get it. It's like, okay, I need a lot at this moment. But then you get to the point, it's like, okay, because you got to do the work now.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just takes a little help to see what the work is. It's like, okay, baby, well, here it is. So, call you in a couple months. You good? All right. But that's because I actually put that on that damn, what do you call this thing today? That reel today. Like, I truly believe in standing in my sovereignty and helping people stand in theirs. And release. It's catch and release. Not hang, you know what I mean? Because if you're hanging on to somebody else's spiritual energy and not exploring yours, you are missing the freaking point.
I agree.
You know, people can help us. They lead us. We can learn new things from people. It's amazing. But understand, when we talking about spiritual sovereignty, it's not just spiritual sovereignty from what you're currently thinking. It is literally spiritual sovereignty, period, of who you are. You design it. You say who you are. Okay. Sorry. Period. How long have we been talking?
We have been talking 56 minutes and 5 seconds.
I'm gonna pull a card for today. But
ooh.
So what's your takeaway, Christy?
This is gonna be good. You know what? The takeaway for me for this particular episode, is you all need to remember the hell who you are.
No. Oh, sorry.
Like, that's my takeaway.
Girl,
like, it's
for real.
honestly, like, it is time for us to wake up. And that's the thing, too. Like, a lot of us, especially, even if you're listening to this podcast, there's something in you've been feeling.
Your light is on.
Right.
Because you're asking questions. I'm telling, come on,
like,
man.
you are here for a reason. And so a lot of the stuff that we're saying, in your soul, you feel it to be true. You already know it, but we're just here to validate it for you.
Yes.
We're here to remind you. But it's time to stop running from it. That's the thing, because there are so many people who's like, oh, well, I know, but I'm not gonna.
I'm not ready.
Right.
You want to know what? I think like we've said this before.
I'm sure we have.
It's like, because you're afraid of what that looks like. You're afraid that means you're going to have to change who you are. And you're like, I'm not ready for that change. When I tell you.
I am living my best life.
Woo! Baby.
And I've gotten to the point where it's just like, I don't even care.
Like, what?
Like, and
it's not like, I don't give a fuck at the world. It's just like, I'm good. I'm good.
I just don't have any words.
So I don't feel like I've lost anything.
Right.
It's just like, damn.
I feel like I've gained so much, though.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm dope. Like, what?
Super dope.
And I'm telling you, stop running, y'all. And plus, we recording. Look, I'm like, and plus we're recruiting soldiers for the spiritual war coming up. But yes. So my takeaway is, I'm shuffling cards.
No, this is gonna be good.
This is like, it takes courage, you guys, to truly be spiritually free when our culture, our society has already created a path for you, a default path. It's like, we talk about those books from when we were kids, the fate books. Like, do you go down this way or you go this way? And it's like, it's hard for you to truly be free when it's just right there for you. So it only comes to those, or when you are at a moment when you are willing to break traditions.
Yep.
Be curious. Ask questions. When you are willing to adjust your expectations of who you are. Think bigger. When you're willing to break, some of those religious teachings that tell you who you are and what you aren't. Anything that tells you that something is over, I'm gonna shut up. Let me just stop. Okay. Anyway,
you were on a roll.
And I'm like, no, oh my God. So when you're willing, sometimes staying in your freedom sometimes mean even breaking the law. And let me just say it like this, and I don't mean anything nefarious, you guys, but I want you to think about a lot of our civil rights, the civil rights movement. Everything that they did during that movement was against the law, but it was for a bigger movement. You know what I mean? So sometimes when you're claiming your spiritual freedom, you may be faced with some stuff. It's like, this is not necessarily within the framework of the law, but right. We all see that's not.
Or the framework of what society has taught us to be with.
Yes, absolutely. And so that's why when I'm saying it takes a lot of courage for you to be able to stand up in yourself. But I will tell you, for real, it's so fucking worth it.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Temple work?
Period. No temple work this week.
Okay, no temple work.
You got the crystal.
All right, so this week's featured crystal is the diamond.
Diamonds are forever.
So the element is storm, and the chakras that it's good for is heart, third eye, crown, and the etheric chakra. So diamonds have been believed for ages to offer us access to divine energies. And so that's one of the reasons why the diamonds were always placed on the crowns of kings and queens. Diamonds promote truth, vision, and alignment with the higher mind for those who use them consciously. Diamonds are also excellent for clearing the energy field and density and aligning the aura with higher light frequencies. These particular crystals, diamonds, help to model transformation and transmutation, encouraging us to develop ourselves from a current state into one filled with the light of the divine. That's pretty cool. Like, I learned, I guess I've never really looked at diamonds having the spiritual meaning or even. I'm going to read that again because it's really dope. So crystals, diamonds, model transformation and transmutation, encouraging us to develop ourselves from a current state into one filled with the light of the divine.
Love it.
Diamonds often carry the energies of angelic beings who are aligned with both courage and light. You just talked about courage.
You
guys, we can't make this stuff up.
We can't make it. It just,
I'm not that smart. Mia possibly is, but I'm not.
I'm just out here.
Look, I tell my clients all the time, I'm like, look, I'm not that smart. Right, this is just what's coming in. So they encourage us to bravely express our most sacred self. And then lastly, diamonds can be used as a tool that one can use to evoke the inner queen, king, those archetypal beings within the self that convey power, knowledge, and sovereignty.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I thought this was the perfect crystal for today.
Yes.
Y'all, the diamond.
It's so interesting because you just saying that makes me think when I think about crystals, I never think about diamonds. I think about sapphires, rubies, emeralds, all.
Never diamond.
For some reason, I don't know. Even though I know it's a crystal, I think it's the hardest crystal. Is anything harder than a diamond?
No, diamond's the hardest.
So but it's just
I forget to.
I don't think about it. Okay, so y'all, I have a little bit of a jewelry problem, and I will say that it was diamonds that got me into it.
But I haven't actually. You have nice jewelry though.
I like jewelry.
You have nice jewelry. Mia is so Mia is so grown. I'm just you changed your curtains. I don't even have curtains.
It's a new season,
you
guys.
changed your room. What? I don't do that. You just move your furniture in and that's it.
I told her it's my mama. I'm telling you, would come home, walk in what? Wait, Mom, what? It's just, it's the new season. I'm so excited because for Chrissy, I put up a Christmas tree. Yes. All of this is really me getting ready to put up my Christmas tree. I'm what? Hey, wait.
Mia loves her Hallmark station, her Lifetime channel, her Hallmark channel.
Woo-hoo.
She loves, she swears, if she could live someplace, I don't know, you let me know. If you could live someplace where it was Christmas 24/7, would you do it?
Ooh, 24, I don't know, I might could for maybe a year. That would be fun for a while. It's a small town. It's the small town. It's everyone caring about each other. I mean, come on. Seriously, who does not want to live in one of these freaking Hallmark towns? What's wrong with y'all? Everybody.
She loves this shit.
It's amazing. It's just, people care for each other. They reach for each other. And then,
Did you hear about Bob and Miranda?
It's just so cute. And it's nice to see something with happy endings. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, And I don't really watch a lot of TV. Like, I have, like, some Netflix stuff that I'll watch. But the only reason I still have cable is because I want Hallmark Channel. Like,
I don't think that's a bad. So I don't own. I mean, I've shared this before. I don't own a TV, so I don't. A lot of times I'm like, wait, what? What show? What
I'm like, Chrissy, go to your main house real quick and watch this on Netflix. I'm like, this. You the one who put. Wait, did I tell you about Sex Life? Did you tell me?
I told you about Sex Life.
Yeah.
I told you about Sex Life.
You was like, oh, I watched this show on Netflix. I was like, whoa. Wait, look, I was like, whoa. You're not just about to go past me. Like, you didn't just say that. You watched what? You watched some TV.
and the thing is that my boyfriend, he's the one that put me on. I think he was just flipping through stuff because I don't watch TV. Usually the TV will be on and I just fall asleep or I'm on my phone. But he said Sex Life. I was like, hell yeah, turn it on, let's watch. Because you know that's one of my favorite subjects. So we watched the show, and after the first episode, I was hooked.
No, Chris, it's so.
I was
Let me
hooked.
tell you something. Any woman out there, I'm just gonna say this. If you have not watched it, it's so interesting.
Sex
I
Life.
would say this though. I think that the story itself, you can resonate at any age group.
Oh my
but
gosh.
I'll say when I feel like
I know I could.
what age group you need to be at to feel this woman.
30.
You got to be
30-ish.
mid to late 30s. I'm gonna be quite honest because I think mid to late 30 because it's a when I say relate to this one, I'm gonna be like, you like she is I am
her.
she.
Yes. I was like, wait, why do y'all up in my business?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, like I even know who the characters are. I'm like, you are him, and he is him.
Rue, you like Rue. So
that's a good show.
It was a good show.
That's good.
So yes. Oh, you did that. Okay, so this is our I'm doing a card pull for our message today, you guys.
I love that. I love those cards too.
Me too. Star seeds. Okay, sorry. I'm doing the Starseed Oracle. Christy got me distracted. That show is so good.
How did I get you distracted?
Because you started talking about the show.
You see how everyone blames me?
Look, girl, we be coming for you, don't we? Girl, I push the card to the side. Ooh, Sex Life.
I'm over here minding my business.
And I'm the thirst bucket. You're right. So you were minding your business. Girl, I know this.
Go watch the show.
Okay.
Ooh. Let me see.
I swear I can't make this stuff up. Because we're just talking about this.
Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, we're not this smart.
Like, no. So we're talking about spiritual sovereignty and following your own path. The card that I pull, you guys, is forge, don't follow. I mean, for real.
Don't be a sheeple.
So, it's pave a new path. Be the leader you need for you. Period.
Duh.
No, so guys, think about this. And it's so funny. I literally just said, it takes courage to step into your own self and forge your own path. Like, it literally, it does. And as this awakening is happening, spiritually as a collective, the awakening is happening. And many of us have to forge our own path to get to our true selves.
Crazy.
And that's what we're being asked to do. That's what's happening. And look, this is the other thing. And I'm going to keep saying this. Y'all going to be like, dang, homegirl was right. The world is changing. New is coming. But you have to understand, we've been rehabbing for a long time. Stuff is getting torn down. We've been putting Band-Aids, and I'm talking about as a society.
And what happens when things get torn down?
We have been putting string and gum on pipes. We have, we're putting Band-Aids on places that needed full surgery just to keep going. And you guys know, same thing as within, without. The same thing that is happening to us as an individual. Because remember, we're all a part of this. Like, where we're just, the pipes have broken. Too much pressure, and we are like, what in the higgity hell? No, stop. This is it. That is happening externally. That is happening on a macro level, a society-wide level. Yeah. So, but that means that the pipe's gonna burst, y'all. And this is things are
and with the pipes, there's gonna be some soot. There's gonna be some.
And so we are in the process. Like, and I talk about when we talk, especially talk about death. Spiritually, it's really about transformation.
Yeah.
So there will be the death of a lot of things. Just like we're having many deaths inside ourselves, many as an M-I-N-I, not many, M-A-N-Y. These many deaths of pieces of that no longer belong to us. So as we release things like that's not of me. I don't know where I picked that up from. You don't belong over here. Yeah. And when you start really mastering yourself, it's so easy to shave off the parts that don't fit. You be like, ugh, this is not me. And it's so much easier to even feel when something's on you that's not of you. So as we are shaving off those parts and we're having these little mini deaths of what no longer belongs to us, that is happening on a macro level. So as a society, because as we are changing and shifting and more people awaken, guess what's happening? We are awakening the world. Because wait, hold on, wait. So you're trying to tell me 1 + 1 is 2, but then you're trying to tell me today 1 + 1 is 3. Let me think about this. I don't know, homie.
That doesn't feel right.
That doesn't feel right. I love this this video, this soundtrack on, what do you call that, on IG. I swear I'm not on IG that often. Yes, I am. No. She said, you mean to tell me you don't believe in any conspiracy theories? I mean, I understand not all of them, but none? You just think the government here batting 1,000, telling us all the truth, huh? Okay. So but me and Chrissy just talked about this today. And I think a lot of truths, secrets are being revealed. And it's not like, oh, one day it's all, you know how you say one day all will be revealed. When I tell you one day, whoo, one day is coming like tomorrow. Like and there will be,
it's happening,
several one days. Then it's going to be, oh my God, this, and oh my God, this. And so, and this is why, seriously, you guys, it's so important at this time for everyone to be waking up and knowing who you are, because if you can go with the way the wind goes, you're going to be out here just flying around not knowing anything, because you're going to be so confused, because the system that tells you who you are is about to be broken down. So then and because you haven't taken the time to say, who am I? You're like, I don't know who, I don't even know, like, what is happening. So that's why I'm like, it's so important for all of us. Each one teach one. Just, you never know. Some people may not be ready to take it right as you're saying it, but you just never know what happens to the seed that you plant by telling somebody that they're a divine being and they have sovereignty over their body and whatever they want and desire in this world that they can create in their world. You never know just by saying that to somebody what that, like, go check on your I am energy, baby. They, just, you don't know what that does for people. Yeah. And we don't want our loved ones, people that we care about, you know, our friends, our family, to be one of these people that when the system shuts down and nobody knows what to do and who they are, we don't want our people out there just flying around. That, you know, so that's why. And so if you are looking for a way to find yourself within the current system, I'm going to tell you, stop. The system that you need to use to find yourself is inside of you. It's not my system. It's not Christie's system. It's not Deepak Chopra's system. Right. It is whatever works for you. Now, can you get bits and pieces of knowledge and learning and awakening and opening from all these different places? Absolutely. But understand, your path is your path. So be courageous and faithful in forging your path. Period.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, I'm done. Case. Stop it. Wait, now I'm blushing. What's wrong with me? Okay.
Mia's over here claiming the throne of a teacher that she is.
Class.
But, you know, going off of what you said, which was so much that I hope just got you all thinking, you know, it's the same thing with religion, too. Like, everything that we used to hold onto this pedestal as far as religion, yes. One, we start to realize that religion has roots connected to rituals and things that we thought were evil.
Oh, come on. Girl, you better stop playing with these people.
And then, two, we also are going to find out what religion is all about, which is a means to control. So there's so much to unpack there. Mm-hmm. But she's absolutely right. It all starts with you. I mean, we've been saying this. It all begins with you. And this is something that I tell some of my clients is that it's this beautiful story that's unfolding, and it's basically just you coming back to who you are. You coming back to self.
And you know what? And I would tell you some things, you guys. I always want to remember every stage, because I want to be able to to help people at whatever stage that they're at. But I would tell you guys, I have these moments in my life where I realize I've been leaving like Easter eggs and lifetimes before to be exactly where I am. And I'm telling you, it brings tears to my eyes because I'm like, damn, I really am who I think I am. Like I'm for real. Like, whoa, you know what I mean? And so this that's not ego. That is like, and it's not like I need to go shout out for a mountain. It's like I have these moments where like it would bring tears to my eyes. And it's just like there's this like, damn, Mia, I see you, girl. Like, hey, and I love that.
Yeah.
And when I have these moments, I'm like, man, how can I get everybody need to feel this? Because this is this is a high like nothing else. Yeah. Like it feels so good. Like I'm for real. Like I really do have purpose. Like I designed this, and I left clues along the way. Baby, let's do this. Where we going next? I put people in my life to help me at every stage, to support me, to shake me, to give me a lesson. I handpicked these people. So this is why I have so much forgiveness for what I would say, what I used to say, you know, so and so did me wrong. I have so much forgiveness for it now because I'm just like, thank you. You have no idea.
You have a purpose.
You served your purpose.
Yep.
I don't care what happened after, but you served your purpose, and I appreciate that. And we will be that person for somebody. I know that I was a lesson for a couple months, but I served my purpose in their life.
Right.
And that helps us bring us all back to, we really are coming from one place and here and supporting and vibing with each other. And if when we start dancing to that same beat and that energy is moving, I'm like, man, what? Get out of here. It's a dope place. Yeah, and I get it. And I'm like, I start having these like, I get why I want to be here. Okay, I'm remembering now. Because you have those moments like, you know what?
Like sometimes just beat me up.
Like, I'm out. Like, I don't cancel the contract. What did I come down here for? This is some bullshit. And then Spirit is so responsive. It's like, okay, let's go show the cry baby while she's here. And I'm like, oh, y'all right. It's beautiful. Love you, sorry. But having those moments is worth the work. It's worth it all. I'm telling you. And I done had some crazy stuff. But to me, it's all just a part of the story now.
It is. And then you start to have this sense of gratitude, just the way that your life is unfolding, and then that only begins to attract more into your life. It's just a really beautiful story of just coming back to self. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, once you get to that point too, then you start to see that there are some people that don't want to come back to self. They are perfectly fine being ignorant,
you know, and
being a sheeple, and that's okay.
And I would tell you, because of the compassion I'm able to have at this point, I can totally understand why. But what I do know is that if after I crossed a certain point, I couldn't even imagine believing that I can't go back. But I understand some people, when we've talked about this, like when we talk about the stages of your spiritual awakening, there are some people to get to a certain point, especially when you have to start holding yourself accountable. They're like, I'm not ready. Let me just stay over here. I'm not prepared for that. And to me, I still honor that because that is knowing yourself. Mm-hmm. So even just getting to that point, okay, you know what, just because you can come back to it. There's not. I mean, we are urging now, just because as we grow, we want. I'm going to tell you, it's such a non-selfish thing. It's like, y'all, for real, this is dope. But understand, this is your timeline. So whenever you're ready, be ready.
Right.
And when you're not, you're not. But I will tell you, they'll get to a point where you can't unknow what you know.
Say that again.
You will get to a point where I can't unknow this. I just saw something
and something has to be done.
And I mean, like, now I gotta ask, dang it, but I wasn't ready. And I'm telling you, that's how it was for me. It's like, no, I'm not.
You're about to be
I'm
ready
not
now.
ready, but I'm not. But wait, it's like, no, because like, and you can try to fake as much as you want to. It would keep you up. Like, that did happen, y'all. you like, seriously. So it's all worth it though. All right, you guys.
Yes, you guys. So we are done. Thank you all so much for listening to Two
A bottle
Queens
later.
and Crystal Things. Yeah, that Chianti was strong.
Mm-hmm.
Before you go, Make sure to show us some love. Leave us reviews if there are any reviews that you can leave on a platform.
Yes,
also,
please.
make sure that you are following. You guys,
Spread the word, guys.
follow our IG page.
Yes.
Please share it with friends, family, people that you are thinking of. It's like, you know what? I really think you need to listen to this episode. Please share with your family and friends. We love you guys, and we see how you all are all spread across the world, which is crazy.
I love.
But I truly do love. For those of you that are just, on the other side of the world, please send us a message on Instagram if you can. We would love to hear from you. And also, don't forget to follow our personal pages.
Please.
Mia is one of the best readers. So Mia was if you guys didn't listen from the earlier episode, Mia was who I went to for a reading when I was going through my second divorce, and which kind of started all of this again. So honestly, I've gone to other readers, but I just don't have the same feeling that I have with Mia. So please check out her page. She is an amazing Akashic record reader.
Oh my God, my whole body just heated up. Like, seriously.
She's
all
like,
the love that is emitting from her. I'm like, stunning, Christie.
Sound healer. She's a certified sound healer. And then she also created her own modality called the Dragonfly. You can schedule an appointment with her. Do you do it online too, or only in person? Okay.
Nope, I do it online too.
She does the Dragonfly online too. So she can be found at Wings Unleashed, like a butterfly wing, Unleashed 444.
And then, you got to reach out to my girl Christie. And we have to give people their flowers while they're here. Mm-hmm. So Christie just launched a new online store, you guys. It's Amazeballs. So if you haven't checked it out, please go to Sage House Apothecary on IG. You can find it there. She has a website up. It's Sage House Apothecary. Check her out. And then go follow her personal page so you can see. Because Christie's really good about sharing her day-to-day life. I'm trying to be better. That's why I do the end of the month things. So, but she's funny. She always has some, you guys want to meet Brantley. Brantley is he's the mascot. Two Queens of Crystal Things mascot.
He's my boy.
And you know what's so interesting? Your dog looks like the sun, and my cat looks like the moon. I just thought about that. Yes. Brantley looks like the sun. Yes. And River literally look. Yep. So y'all know we are sun and moon up in here.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But follow her on her page at Christie. That's with an IE. R. Edwards. Christie R. Edwards.
You.
But we love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being vulnerable with us. Thank you for allowing us. I mean, you know how people get trolled for being honest? We don't get any of that.
Right. Thank you for doing the work.
Guys. Yes. Like, we need you. Yep. Like, real talk. Yep. We love you. So,
love you.
Thank you. Light, peace, love, and soul. Nighty-night.
Bye, guys.